All right, let's talk about getting your head right. There are people that believe basically anything. You tell them something, they believe it. They don't want to think about it, research it, find different opinions. They just, oh, well, he said it, but it's got to be true. No. In fact, I've come to the conclusion that stupidity isn't really stupidity. It's just laziness. It's being lazy. You hear something, you believe it. Okay, I'll believe that. I'm not going to do any research. I'm too lazy to. And then doing that, you make yourself look stupid, even though you're not. You're lazy. Now, people try to say that there isn't a God. Prove it. Prove that there is not a God. Let's think about this for a minute. Women and men in different cultures, even if they've never heard of God, ever, they cover their bodies, their genitalia. Why? Because it's part of our makeup, good and evil. Our minds have thoughts of good and thoughts of evil. We also have a moral standard, a single moral standard. And in these countries where they've never heard of God or Jesus or the Spirit, they still cover themselves because they have inherently a moral value system that says cover yourself. No other animal on the face of the earth covers themselves. They walk around naked. Is it because they can't figure out how to cover themselves? Well, they say a monkey can type a book. Isn't that right? They got opposing thumbs. They can do certain things. Why don't they cover themselves? Because they don't have moral values. Animals don't have a sense of morality. Only man does. And because man does, that had to have been given to him from somewhere, someone, somehow. That being God. The only one God that proves morals. Covering yourself. Don't kill one another. Don't steal from one another. But you see, in this society, in America, they're trying to destroy that. They don't want the idea of moral values being of one voice, of one intelligence, of one morality. Make up your own. It's okay to murder. You can murder anyone. Anymore. Sure, yeah, I shot Mr. Smith, Your Honor, because I didn't like him. Oh, okay. Prosecuting attorney, what are you going to do? Nothing. Okay, go. And so he goes out and kills more and more and more. And that has happened in this country because prosecutors will not prosecute because they don't have a moral standard. They don't have a sense of responsibility to their fellow man. They're losing it. And the sad thing is, if you don't want God, God don't want you. And that's a period on that one. You think, oh, well, I'm a good person. I'm going to go to heaven. No, you ain't. There are certain parameters that God has set forth for man. Okay, to live life. Live life right. Loving your brother, that's part of it. Loving God, that's part of it. being faithful to man and God. It's not just, oh, well, my moral standard says I can do this and this and this and this. Well, God's moral standard says you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't. You don't live life by thinking that your thinking is correct when it's not. My thinking is stupidity. But what I know and what I have learned through reading the Bible, listening to others inform me of the truth of what they know, I have learned to live morally, peacefully, joyfully, loving my brother, loving God, having love returned. And so life is good. In fact, life is great. And so, in order to really live, you've got to get your mind straight. You've got to get your mind right. In fact, I found that eating different foods changes my mind, changes my attitude, my everything, really. And so by trying to eat more natural foods, I live better. Not just physically, but mentally. You got to remember your brain is chemically balanced. And so if you get it out of balance with drugs and alcohol and whatever else there is out there, you're not living right. You're living in confusion, in hatred, in violence, without love, without joy, without peace. So get your mind right and live and find Jesus and live in love